Good day, everyone. I am your reporter, Elvi Joy Dordas, together with Mary Rose Tumali, and we are going to discuss about love, intimacy, and relationship. I know that one of the best feeling in the world is holding the person you love close to your heart and body, to connect mentally, emotionally, and physically. We don't realize it, but our intimate relationship teach us a lot about the people we love and even more ourselves. So, in order to understand the importance of love, intimacy, and relationship, we have to know that without love and affection, we cannot venture into self actualization, which is the desire to fulfill our social potential. So, why is love sociologically interesting? How have sociologists tended to understand it? Love is interesting sociologically for so many reasons. Love can represent so many different meanings and understandings. Sexual love, intimate love, companionate love, romantic love, parental love, friendship love, interspecies love, and love for places, belongings, or views. It is a word that is used prolifically to mean so much, which means it is incredibly difficult to define and study. Love is interesting because it is everywhere and has a significant impact on our culture, society, and lives. And yet, we can know relatively little about what it actually means. Love is not something we can know. We have to investigate how it is represented socially and culturally. In the UK, we Filipinos are structured by the norm of the loving couple. This is seen as keeping families and society together and stable. So, why love have such power? So whether a private emotion, organizing institutions, normative expression, commodity, societal glue, or legitimate ideology, love is clearly an important aspect to understand and integrate in modern society. So, do the different understandings sociologists have of love reflect different understandings of it within society? Sociologists' understandings of love tend to reflect different understandings of it within society simply because the way we can study love is through talking to people, investigating cultural representations, and understanding the structuring and organizing principles of love. This will inevitably reflect general societal understandings of love. Alternatively, relationships and love still appear to be very important to people, and so other sociologists suggest a continuity in the ideal of long-term or even lifelong love. Love has simply become more risky. Now, let's talk about intimacy in relationships. Intimacy involves feelings of emotional closeness and connectedness with other person. Intimate relationships are often characterized by attitudes of mutual trust, caring, and acceptance. A part of our sexuality might include intimacy, the ability to love, trust, and care for others in both sexual and other types of relationships. We learn about intimacy from those relationships around us, particularly within our families. Our social activities can take place to others, where there can be varying degrees of intimacy. We may be sexuals with an intimate partners, a casual partners, an anonymous partners, a friend, or etc. Often, intimacy with others involve taking emotional risk, where people might share personal details and stories. Emotional intimacy doesn't automatically occur with sexual intimacy, as people who are sexually involved may not choose to share their innermost thoughts and feelings, or the sexual relationship might be one where there is not a high degree of emotional intimacy. So, there are four key factors in building emotionally intimate relationship. So first, we have knowing and liking yourself. Some social scientists suggest that the initial step toward intimacy with others is getting to know and like yourself. By coming to know and value yourself, you identify your innermost feelings and needs and develop the security to share them with others. By showing yourself love, you'll set the tone for how you want others to treat you in a relationship. Your partners will want to treat you differently because they see you treating yourself differently. Simply put, when you treat yourself with love, compassion, and respect, others will treat you the same way. So, the second one is trusting and caring. Two of the most important components of an intimate relationship are trust and caring. When trust exists, partners feel secure that disclosing intimate feelings will not lead to ridicule, rejection, or other harm. Research shows that trust builds gradually as people come to see the other person has made a sincere investment in the relationship. Caring is an emotional bond that allows intimacy to develop. When people are care about each other, they seek to fulfill each other's needs and interests. We all know that trust is the foundation of any relationship because without love, you won't secure that your partner will love you and be loyal to you. After all, trust means you can rely on your partner, can confide in them, and feel safe with them. The act of caring for another is so powerful because it creates deeper bonds as individuals lean on each other for emotional support. Caring in intimate relationships is the practice of providing care and support to an intimate relationship partner. The third one is honesty. Honesty is also a feature of intimacy. When we are sexual with others, it might be helpful to consider what information we need to be honest about to help our sexual partners make informed choices and what information we would like our sexual partners to be honest about with us. Try to provide important information in a way that is concise and respectful to your partners and yourself. Honesty is the foundation of trust in a relationship, and trust is necessary for a relationship to function and thrive. When you're always honest with someone, it tells them that they can trust the things you say. It helps them know they can believe your promises and commitment. The last factor is clear communication. Communication is a two-way street, praises sending and receiving messages. The clear communicator must, therefore, learn to also be a good listener. It is important when communicating with someone to listen not only to their words but also to their nonverbal cues. Nonverbal communication provides valuable cues to feelings. The tone of voice, gestures, body postures, and facial expressions not only accentuate the spoken word but can also express emotion directly. Clear communication can take the guesswork out of relationships, avert misunderstanding, relieve resentments and frustrations, and increase general and sexual satisfaction within the relationship. So, when you are in an intimate relationship, you should feel understood and accepted for who you are. You trust the other person and can open up completely to them. Intimacy is a sense of belonging. Communicating does not mean that you always sit around talking about your relationship. It means that you talk about things that really matter. It means that you are not afraid to say what you really think and feel and that you the same way. So in conclusion, love and intimacy are the very essence of relationship. If two people are to stay with each other forever, they have to make a constant effort to sustain a healthy relationship while committing to long-lasting growth. Now, my co-reporter Mary Rose will discuss to you the intimacy in relationships.
So to continue the discussion, let's have the topic, the intimacy in relationship. So intimacy is achieved when we become close to someone else and reassured that we are loved and accepted for who we are. So children usually develop intimacy with parents and peers. So as adults, we seek intimacy in close relationships. So with other adults, friends, and families, and with a partner, of course. So in line with this intimacy in relationship, let's have first the differences between men and women. So people in relationships have often strong expectations that their partner will be just like they are, so they will exhibit the same attitudes, values, perceptions, and behaviors. However, we know that you will not change your partner's attitudes or behavior unless they themselves are motivated to do so. So you are even less likely to change their basic gender characteristics. So it is very important to educate yourself as to the basic gender differences which exist between men and women and accept the fact that the differences are there and they are real. So in this way, you can learn to use the differences as a way to enrich your relationship rather than to damage it. So according to the physiological differences of men and women, so girls develop the right side of the brain faster than boys. So this right side of the brain leads to talking, vocabulary, pronunciation, reading earlier, and better memory, while boys develop the left side faster than girls. So this left side of the brain includes visual, spatial, logical skills, perceptual skills, better at math, problem solving, and building and figuring out the puzzles. So girls are more interested in toys with faces than boys, so they play with stuffed animals and dolls more, while boys drawn to blocks or anything that can be manipulated. So those information was trying to convey that there is really a physiological differences between men and women in our relationship. So next, let's have the intimacy and sex. So for many couples, making love involves a sense of intimacy and emotional closeness. So an intimate sexual relationship involves trust and being vulnerable with each other. So closeness during sex is also linked to other forms of intimacy. So intimacy in a relationship is a feeling of being close and emotionally connected and supported. So it means being able to share a whole range of thoughts, feelings, and experiences so that we have as a human being. So it involves being open and talking through your thoughts and emotions, letting your guard down or being vulnerable, and showing someone else how you feel and what your hopes and dreams are. So intimacy is built up over time and it requires patience and effort from both partners to create and maintain. So discovering intimacy with someone you love can be one of the most rewarding aspects of a relationship. So apart from emotional and sexual intimacy, you can also be intimate intellectually, recreationally, financially, spiritually, and creatively. However, it is important to share a whole range of emotions with a partner. Otherwise, some people begin to feel lonely or isolated regardless of how good their sexual experiences may be. So explore ways to share love and affection without sex, and remember that sex includes many forms of physical contact. So often, the more a couple is intimate with each other in ways other than sex, the more fulfilling their sex life becomes. So let's proceed to the next one. So this is in creating intimacy. So some couples find it difficult to achieve intimacy in their relationship. Others can find that after achieving intimacy, it seems to slip away. So the reasons why some people find it difficult to achieve intimacy in their relationship. So the reasons are as follows. So the first one, communication issues. So if you and your partner are not communicating to each other what your feelings and needs are, then they are not likely to be met. So if you do not feel understood by your partner, then intimacy is hard to create or maintain. So it's important to talk to your partner about what you need and to check in with them about how they are feeling. So this act alone can create a feeling of being connected and intimate. So a woman's sense of self is defined through their feelings and the quality of their relationship. So they spend much time supporting, nurturing, and helping each other. So they experience fulfillment through sharing and relating. That's why communication is a must in a relationship. So if you can sense that there is something wrong in your relationship, all you need to do is to communicate with each other. Talk to your partner, open up with him or her. What's going on? What's wrong with our relationship? Are we still working or not? So now let's move on. The next one is the conflict. So if there is ongoing conflict in your relationship, it can be difficult to develop intimacy. So it is not easy to feel close to someone you are arguing with. Anger, hurt, resentment, lack of trust, or a sense of being unappreciated can all affect intimacy. So of course, when you are in a relationship and you are about to develop your intimacy within each other, the conflict or the unsolved problem is not really healthy. Of course, you are going to be with each other every day and you are just going to argue. So what's the sense? You are not working together, of course. So another reason why we can't be able to develop our intimacy within our partner is the practical issue. So practical issues and life stressors such as financial worries, pressures at work, concern about children, or just being too busy to really connect with each other really can affect the intimacy development. So there are times in a couple's relationship when the needs of the couple have to be put aside while more pressing issues are dealt with. So but it is more important to try and crave or to carve out time together as a couple. So even if it is a 5-minute check-in or having a cup of tea together. So small moments of feeling close to each other all add up to the greater feeling of intimacy.
So now let's proceed to the next one, abuse or violence. So intimacy is damaged when one partner uses power inappropriately over the other. So abuse or violence in a relationship destroys trust and signals that the relationship is in trouble. So the abuse or violence is not healthy in a relationship. It cannot help us develop our intimacy with our partner because no one ever wish to feel the feeling of pain. So always remember that abusing your partner is not the proper way of showing love. Okay, so let's move on. So we have the intimacy is built up over time. So building and maintaining intimacy in a relationship takes time and it takes some people longer than others. So often, the harder you work at developing intimacy in relationship, the more rewarding it is. So now let's proceed to some suggestions for developing intimacy in your relationship. So first, celebrate the good things in your relationship. So tell your partner in words and actions how much you love and appreciate them. Let your partner know that you value about them and about the relationship that you have. So put it into words and don't assume they already know. So everybody likes to be told that they are appreciated and loved. So next one, talk openly about your feelings and what you need from your relationship. Of course, create opportunities for intimacy. Take time to out together as a couple when you can focus on each other and on your own relationship. So the harder it is to do this because of children or work commitments, the more it is important that you will both do it. So try to plan a regular evening or a day weekend for the two of you to be alone. And of course, accept that your relationship will have highs and lows. Continue to explore new ways of finding a deeper level of intimacy. So these moments don't need to be grand gestures or love. Taking time, even small moments together, is just as important as going on a date together. And lastly, be positive and be grateful about what you have in your relationship. So that was all for our discussion. I hope that you have learned something from us. Thank you so much and stay safe, everybody.